So let's see how this affects our picture. We've got our A, our B, and our C, and we know our X comes first, so we should open left and right because that's our major axis. So our center was at 0, 0. Our A was 4. That means our vertices should be going out 4 in either direction. So that would put you at a 4 to the left of 0 and 4 to the right of 0, which would put you at negative 4, 0, and 4, 0. Let's see what that would look like on our picture. So on our picture, that would put us out at, let's see, negative 4, 0, and 4, 0. And our foci are even further than that. That would be using what we just came up with for our C, would have us adding and subtracting 2 square roots of 5 to our center, 0. And again, because our major axis is on the X, we're going to do it on the X's. We're going to go left and right. So we will add 2 square roots of 5, and we will subtract 2 square roots of 5 from 0. So that gets us our foci, which is 2 square roots of 5, 0, and negative 2 square roots of 5, 0, which puts us inside, on the other side of our graph, where our hyperbola is going to point out. So what that'll look like is there's our foci a little bit out further than our vertices. Okay. Now coming up with our asymptotes is, remember, if you ever get stuck, it's rise over run. Rise means whatever number's under the y's, which is your B, which was 2. So your B should come first, your 2. Over your run, which was your whatever's going to be underneath as your radius for your x's, which was 4. Well, the problem with that rise over run, just like any other slope, is that we get 2 over 4, which can be reduced. It gets reduced to 1/2. So our slope on our 2 asymptotes is plus or minus 1/2 x. Again, there's not going to be anything inside with the x or anything on the outside because our center was at 0, 0. This is your equation for your asymptotes, and it will not be messed with because our center was at 0, 0. So this is it. So if you weren't sure how to graph these lines, again, you'd start at the center, and then remember, slope 1 of 1/2 means you're going to go up 1 from the center, up 1 and over 2 if it was positive 1. If it was the other graph, the one with the negative slope, you'd go down 1 and over 2. Or another way of also doing this is draw your box. Your box had a rise of 2. And that would be going up 2 and down 2. And you also had an A of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's finish in our box going left, right, 4, and up and down 2. And let's see what kind of box that makes. And then to actually draw your asymptotes this way, you would start at the center, because you know your lines would have to go through the center, which is at 0, 0. And you would draw your asymptotes by going through the center and making sure that you go through a diagonal at both corners of your rectangle, your box. And so we do our other 2 ends of our box, corners of our box, and those are your 2 asymptotes. I know you can see what the hyperbola is going to look like, but I'm assuming we haven't drawn it yet. To draw in the hyperbola, what you would do is, you'd say, well, here's my vertex here. And we've already figured that part out. And you'd say, well, I'm going to get closer to each, pointing outwards on the x-axis towards each asymptote. So I want to get closer to each asymptote on both ends. So I'd also do that on the left-hand side as well. Again, making sure that I go through the vertex on both sides. Again, getting closer to both asymptotes. And that is it. Again, these first two examples were nice because you didn't do what? You didn't have to worry about a center that was anything besides 0, 0. The problem is, what if your center isn't at 0, 0? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at problem C. And problem